Welcome back to Dark Nexus. Tonight, it's Act 2, Chapter 63. Still the 7th of Neth. Dabs, thank you for that story last time, Paul. We finally learned a little bit of what Dabs' meditation process is like.
Love it.
Thank you.
They've returned from their spell prep. We're back on the Sellen Starling. We've asked Skywyn if she would get the boat out of here, at least for the day. She's willing to take the ship out onto the lake and then bring it back a day from now and see what the situation is. And we had sort of left things off in the middle of a conversation about what our plan of action is. Still go up and clear out the fort, take the fight in some way to Iris Hill before they get a chance to rally their own troops tonight at midnight. I know we've got this Insect Scout spell to cast. Is that the first thing we're going to do today, Paul?
Oh, that's my suggestion, is that let me send these scouts out, and while we're talking about what to do next, they can get started.
I agree.
Any objections?
None.
No.
All right. So, Dabs. This is fascinating.
What do you get, 2?
I think I only
Robots?
get one right now.
One right now.
That's probably good, because if this is a favorite spell of Ustalov, they might be on the lookout or know what to look for, you know? The fewer the better, I think.
So Dabs goes to the rail of the ship and starts intoning their deep understanding of the city. And a small black beetle, crawls over the edge of the rail and up onto Dabs's fingertip. We all see Dabs sort of whisper to the beetle very, very quietly. And then the beetle seems to almost nod its understanding. Dabs sets the beetle back down on the rail of the ship, and the beetle goes about its business, and let's see when it returns. Okay, I know, you don't know.
We'll just talk for
Start
potentially
talking.
7 hours.
All right, the beetle is off on their way to scout out Iris Hill.
So cool. One of the things that I had thought last time, but that I wanted to say that we should do, is to drain the Stellas of any energy they have so that it cannot be used to the 2 that we can get to and see cannot be used to teleport anywhere.
We think they can't, I think, based on the level of light coming from them now. But I do agree we should do the transmitting, receiving until they are both drained.
That is an easy task.
Yeah.
So maybe while we're still talking about which of the 2 fortified locations we're going to hit tonight, we can climb up on top of
Gladiolus
Hill and Crocus Hill and take care of those 2 remaining Star Stella.
Just talk to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you? Fine.
Clutching your unholy symbols of Hastur, we drain the two Star Stella of the remaining charges.
On Crocus Hill, are there still bodies there at all?
There's just the one of the no Mohawk Finn.
Oh, that's
right. Which I think we did say at some point you dragged him down to you took care of that body somewhere. So at the moment, no bodies up there.
But we don't know if there are any in Iris Hill.
Unknown there.
I think suspicions are that there probably is one somewhere.
And that there may be many bodies.
Many bodies.
It may be fully charged. But to make the great harvest happen, they need all 3 of them.
It seems like they do.
Yeah. So.
And it seems like they need
we're doing our
powerful adventurers or powerfully wealthy people to power the stone atop of Gladiolus Hill. They need...
Do we know, are there any of those people left in town?
Very few, but they must be
other
there.
than Stasi, Bates, and Barnabas?
Yeah, could I make a knowledge local check?
Sure.
22.
I bet Barrow and Kessel's body's down at the bottom of Iris Hill.
So you would... Roni would suspect there probably is sufficient fodder left in town. Folks like Cleda Binter, who was definitely an adventurer before opening up her smithy. Sifting through the mists of his mind, he's pretty sure the 2 owners of Builder's Hall, which is sort of a construction concern, are aristocrats from a foreign nation that might perhaps have some power to them. There's, of course, Centalar Rui, who is a leveled alchemist. There are folks in town.
How long would it take to gather those folks up and put them on the ship?
Or even just talk to the Sleepless Agency and go,
Can you gather these
can
people
you
up?
let these people know that they are going to be targeted tonight, possibly?
Yeah.
And they should either be prepared or hide.
There's got to be a high level of paranoia in the town for that to land easily.
100%.
For sure.
Like,
I love
sounds
the
like a
idea
lot
of using the sleepless agency as a resource there
Yeah.
to take care of that particular part of the job. All right, they're on it. They're working. They're going to make their way through town, and they're going to use their best judgment based on the more information they have than Roni even does about who's got money,
got
wealth, or
levels.
experience in
Yeah.
the past.
It's got
Yeah.
some juice.
Yeah.
All right. We've drained that. We've let people know. I mean,
Maybe telling Skywind to wait to give those people enough time,
Yeah.
anything that want to go on the ship.
Sure.
Great. So Skywind will do that. This has probably used up about an hour of our time, so we'll think of it about 6 o'clock now.
Oh, the bug's back.
They're not back quite yet.
Well, I mean, are we going to talk about
Yeah.
what we want to do?
Yeah.
I guess I think I vote for clearing out Hail Course.
My only hesitation in going to Iris Hill is the presence of the stranger, who I don't believe we are anywhere near being prepared to confront. Otherwise, I like the plan of catching them unaware, but I don't like the plan of getting trapped there and subject to the stranger's
Mouth.
knowledge of us.
well,
Or
here's
mouth.
Here's my thought: is that if they're in Iris Hill, if that one is currently charged, that Stella, they're not going to want to use it, right? They're going to want to save that energy. So they're going to come out and they're going to make their way through the town and pick up whoever they need. So we could stay away from Iris Hill enough that we get some distance,
But
and then we
confront
could
them outside.
pick a spot where we think they're going to be, and then we could ambush them.
I don't mind that.
I'm only against doing
Wasting
the fort.
resources at the fort.
Yeah.
Understood. Though the resources that are there could be used against us by the people at Iris Hill.
If they are trying to gather enough bodies together, they might use as many hands on deck that they have, right? So that includes the undead at the keep, or the whatever else is living back there.
Everybody give me a perception check. What do we got, Dabs?
22.
Nice. Roni?
25 or 27 for traps.
You're not checking for traps.
Decent.
Gripper?
13.
Perfect. And Dora?
20.
Okay. Dabs and Roni would both have caught, because the fort is in plain view of the town, as you're walking around taking care of the Stellas. The front doors are wide open exactly as you left them. There is no evidence that a
Anything has come up.
re-sealing up has happened up there.
And we can't see any figures.
You see nobody moving
patrolling.
about. It looks exactly like you left
I
it.
bet there is an underground passage between Fort Hail Course and Iris Hill, and that's where they retreated to.
Roni, you said you recognized my blend spell. Do you know monkeyfish?
Yeah.
Well, if you can swim, and I can turn myself into something that can swim, we could maybe see if we can find our way up through the well in the bottom.
I can't hold my breath that long.
I thought monkeyfish
It
let you
just
swim.
gives you a swim speed.
It doesn't let you hold your breath.
And Roni is narrowing his eyes.
Why are you trying to get me trapped
Trying to
underwater?
get me
where I
trapped
can't
underwater
breathe?
and drown me down there, you fish person.
But
Good thought, though.
I
But
mean,
good thought, yeah.
that is something you could do on your own, and that is something that Dora could do if she wanted to use some first level spells.
Second level spell.
Second level spells.
Yeah, let's split the party and send them down.
It would be
watery
like
things.
all of my second level spells. There's no way you're going to drain my resources in the way you are suggesting.
I just put out ideas.
GM Rob.
I could scout ahead, not using a lot of resources, with my cloak and with my ability to change.
From beneath Roni's house. You don't even know about that house, probably, right?
No.
So we know of an underground waterway
Oh.
to Hail Course.
From somewhere in the lake.
Yeah, and you would know where
Yes.
from your visualization of it, Dora.
Yes.
Nearby to Roni's house.
Nearby. Well, we know where it comes out in the lake. I would be very wary of sending you on your own in such a long swim, but it may be worth the information.
Yeah, I think it's worth the information.
Just when you come up the well, there are dogs. Might still be alive and still
Well, what
very
didn't we
hungry.
see? I don't
If you're
recall,
worried
but
about
did
the
we
dogs,
see a well?
I got this potion of non-detection of animals. You could drink this, and that would protect you from the dogs. So I think this idea of you going out in
is
the
the-
lake
what is the potion really?
and double checking would really be a great idea. Give us some more information.
Is it really like bone broth or something?
No, he actually has potion of animal
It also
non-detection.
has a vial with D written on it. That is fucking poison.
Dabs can certainly cast detect magic and analyze any auras. If anything, Roni hands them if they wish to.
Did I the player Polly's trying to recall? Was there a well in the
Courtyard.
Yes, but underneath, also in the
We didn't see one.
Underdark.
You would assume the way these things are done is that there's probably a well that comes up, or basically based on the vision that Dora had from reading the mind, the well comes up in some subterranean room, and then above that, there is another hole that the well is accessed from above.
But we didn't see that subterranean room when we were down there.
Correct. So yeah, the well does open up into the basement of Fort Hill Course, to a part that, yes, Katie, to your point, you have not yet
So
seen.
you could lower a bucket from the
Yep.
courtyard, but you couldn't necessarily climb up to the courtyard. You would be climbing up into this basement room.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I would also hesitate to send Dabwick on their own because I'm sure they are who the insect scouts report to.
Right.
And we wouldn't be able to, we should all be together for that.
Agreed.
I think you would estimate the total amount of time to go there and back is about 20 minutes.
Oh.
So I could just go and come back, and it would cost us really no resources.
That's fun.
I'm just
I
scouting.
like the idea.
Would
a
you
lot.
stay? Could you stay connected to me through some sort of message?
That would be amazing.
No. You have to be able to send the message. You have to be able to point at the person and whisper.
Oh,
So it isn't just an open... It can function as an open channel as long as I can see everyone who's connected.
got it.
But if I can't, then no. It's a good idea.
I will throw this in too. The insect scouts spell does say that the insects return to the caster, not to the location of the casting of the spell.
Yeah, I know.
So
I just
we're-
think Dabwick should be with us when they
Right,
return.
right. But if
Yeah.
there's ever any concern of like, we got to go back to the boat and we have to be there at a certain time.
No, yeah,
Okay.
wasn't what I was thinking. Just for Roni's sake, I think we should all be there when the scouts report.
Because I'm going to totally understand what the bugs say.
Because you won't
Well,
trust.
you'll see at least that they
Right.
reported that they came back. And be able to make a sense motive check on Dabwick with whatever
I don't
he's-
know, like, once I distrust them, I don't think that
I think you're
gain
locked
trust
in.
again until
Until you're dormant.
I'm dormant, yeah. So,
So what do you say about me just scouting? Is that what I'm doing? Just to scout and
So
see
we're-
if that's
we're-
a way we could go in?
We're just looking at what
Where the well comes up.
Yeah.
What's in that room at the fort.
So
Maybe there
entering
are
by Roni's
more-
house, or going in and going into the well in the fort.
Entering by Roni's house.
Entering by Ronnie's house to
Which, to
come
be clear,
up.
is not through
Not-
Ronnie's
not
house.
through
It's
Ronnie's
the
house.
Right,
lake.
right, but
Yeah.
that near
Yeah,
there, yes.
We're coming up inside the well.
so we're splitting the party.
So Dabs goes to the edge of Lake and Carthen.
And turns
Into-
into a bogard. Scum are monstrous humanoids, and
You can't turn into
I can't turn into a monstrous humanoid. So bogard is a frog-like humanoid.
Frog
person.
Love it.
Oh, that's so.
So Dabwick's eyes start to shift to the side of their face, and their nose flattens out, and their smile goes really wide, and their skull cracks and flattens, and their fingers go long, and their toes grow long and grow webbed, and they become a frog person.
I love it. Do you have dark vision? Is that?
Yes, this is swim and
Yep.
dark vision.
Amazing.
That's so cool.
Amazing. All right. They are not amphibious. They just have an ability to hold their breath for an incredibly long time. So Dabwick dives into Lake Carthen as a frog person and disappears below the waves. Dab, all you've got is Dora's hazy description based on the inside of somebody's mind to follow.
A scum's mind.
A scum's,
I'm pretty
a
sure.
warped scum's mind. And you descend deeper and deeper, and the lake itself is shockingly deep. There isn't a long plateau of shallow water. Like it's like sheer drop-offs off of all these islands down. It's why ships can come into these narrow waterways, because there's actually like the bottom is not close. Wow. Dabs dives down into the murky water and finds this very small, like medium-sized creature hole. Exactly where expected. And takes their frog self in. Swimming.
This is like aliens.
Swimming. The tunnel gets more narrow and more narrow. There are parts where you have to squeeze yourself through, not quite escape artist level cracks, but like tight squeeze.
Yeah, Dabwick's actually bigger than they normally are.
Oh yeah.
in this film.
You do
How disorienting.
winding. Until finally, you do reach the bottom of what is clearly a manufactured stone well. You're at the bottom of the well right now, underneath Fort Hillcourse.
Oh my god.
I'm going to stealthily try to come to the surface and make a perception check to see what's around.
Give me that stealth check.
Can you do it so just your beady little eyes
frog
come
eyes.
up out of the top of the water?
Dabs, don't die.
That is a 23.
I love this. Oh my god.
I hate it when
Got
you
that
love
backup character ready?
I hate it.
No, this is
backup
this
character's
is
probably on a
no,
boat
this is
somewhere.
super cool superhero shit that Paul's doing right now.
Awesome.
Awesome.
It is
Yay.
awesome.
I'm gonna just drop you all on a map so you can see what
yay.
Paul sees here.
I'm repeating Johnny's foray into the library.
Foray.
Foire?
That-
I think you mean foie gras.
What a faux pas.
It's foray into the foyer. This is cool.
This
I'm
is
being
cool.
the rogue next time, guys.
Okay, everybody get ready for this.
Okay.
This is
Bring
fun.
it.
Oh my god.
So, Dabwick emerges silently into a 20 by 20 foot circular chamber surrounding this circular well to find 5 of the undead soldiers holding their long swords and staring silently to a closed door to the south. They are not moving, they're just watching the door and waiting.
Oh. So little frog eyes peep out
Yes.
from.
Oh my god.
We could hold that portal at the end of the hall and just have our way with the rest of the place. No?
I don't think I can cast a spell from here and
No, I mean,
survive.
we'll approach it from a different way. We just know... We can probably extrapolate from the courtyard where the well is compared to where we are in the basement with some checks.
Give me a knowledge. You got dungeoneering?
I definitely have dungeoneering.
Give that to me.
Yeah, baby. Come on, Dabs. 25.
You would guess that this room is just around the corner from what you've explored. Probably the next room.
Can I determine what they appear to be waiting for something to come in the door?
They are guarding the well from intruders from inside the keep.
They're protecting the well.
There's another way to Iris Hill from there. I bet.
Not that Dab saw. And if you put hold portal outside of a combat situation, you're looking at it lasting about a minute.
Right.
Because they have to make a check every round to
But
try
if
to break
we're
it
just,
down.
We're just searching the area south of that door. Could
They-
be long enough.
They are like, you sit there with those little frog eyes above the surface of the water, staring around. How terrifying! As
That
these
is really terrifying.
like standing corpses. They don't ever move. They just stand there with their swords, looking intently at that southern door,
Poised and ready.
ready to kill anybody who approaches the well from the south.
So we don't approach the well. We know what's in the room.
No.
We could board up that door.
Dabwick will not attempt to do anything else but stealth their way back
Dip back down into the water.
and swim back
Fair
to
enough.
their friends.
After about 20 minutes pass, you see a boggart emerge from the lake and report as they will.
Shakes off the water,
That's so fun.
face, body forms back into Dabwick, and I report everything I saw.
Doesn't exactly make the fort a safe place to hole up, but we have options.
It helps to know the numbers, I think, right?
Indeed.
We know there's an Idu still.
And a soul sliver.
Yeah.
And wasn't there something coming out of that?
Everybody give me an intelligence check. Come on, Grip. It's your time to shine.
It really is. He normally rolls well
Yeah.
on stuff like this.
I mean, I rolled a 15 for a 14.
Okay. Okay.
He got better than me.
Same.
Oh, did I natural 20 for a 23?
Sweet.
Okay. So, piecing together what you saw upstairs, Roni, which was the signs of folks going downstairs, including the trail of this ooze. Sholn hearing a bunch of things coming down the stairs and going this direction towards the well, and nothing ever emerging. I think the conclusion you would probably draw is folks exited through the well and left the undead soldiers behind to guard their retreat. And nothing has happened since then.
Okay.
And there's
'Cause
nobody
you-
there. There's
you
nobody
have
there to tell
seen-
them otherwise.
Right.
They're like, guard
Yeah.
our escape.
Yes, and like based on Dabwick's understanding of the geography of the space, the relation of the well to where you were, we're talking literally right around the corner. If like Grip had gone one more square to the south, he might have seen this door that they're all staring at. It's all that close.
When we were down in the hallway by the cells, you mean?
Yes, when
Okay,
you were
gotcha.
not approaching the children. Yes. So not long after Dabs's foray and the ensuing discussion, at about 7 o'clock, after 2 hours, a little black beetle comes scampering up to Dabwick to report. And this is so fun. I think what I'm actually going to do is just actually turn the entire first floor map of Iris Hill over to you all to
my
just
God.
walk around.
I've seen a lot of it, huh?
You have seen a lot of it. I'm not going to give you any of that kind of context because the beetle would not have that kind of context. But let me pull it up here and give you a kind of a
Information is
description.
my favorite thing.
Yes.
Love it so much.
When I was looking at my spell list last night, I was like, Katie's gonna love this one.
Okay, so the beetle comes back and Dabs reports to you that, okay, the complex is extremely large. There is this massive hedge all the way around the outside, and I've got to tell you, my friend, it is extremely dangerous. The thorns and brambles attempted to attack me, but I am very small. They could not get me. I do fear very much for people of your size. Take care, Dabwick. Take care. Beware the hedge. Now, the first thing I noticed is I crawled underneath the front doors into what seems to be sort of a gatehouse. And, you know what? On the map here, I'm going to open up this door. You all walk into it. Shoo. Walk into that little gatehouse. Yeah, so the only path through this hedge is a small building, maybe 20 feet by 20 feet or so, with big reinforced doors on both ends. The only way in and out of the hedge that I saw. I'm going to open up this next door into the grounds, and you can see the grounds. Everybody walk out into the grounds. Oh, it's a fairly big complex, multiple buildings, all surrounding a central well. Do you all see the well there? Topiaries surrounding the well. Multiple buildings. So down here on the south, I'm going to click on the map here, you all see. Down here, just sort of like an outhouse, a little shed. I went in there, just equipment, nothing interesting. We'll save the manor house for last. Let's go. Oh, I know what we should do. Let's go anti-clockwise, starting in this building up over here. There's a building about maybe 20 feet by 20 feet, detached, all by itself, sort of like a guest house. And I poked around on the ground floor there. There's furniture, there's people stuff, and there's stairs that go up. I didn't go up because I'm a bug and I'm walking around trying to get the layout of the land. Windows, stairs. And then, this next building, sort of at the 12 o'clock position of this massive complex, there is a stable structure, fairly normal stable, an unusual amount of blood. An unusual amount of blood.
What is a usual
in the
amount?
stable. Oh, and you see the northeast corner, the opposite the doors where I presume the large horse creatures would come in and out. There was a hole in the floor. I went down that hole a little ways. Damwick, I did not like what I saw, smelled, or heard.
Understood, my friend.
The nature of this spell means I can't tell you any creatures I saw down there, but I found the place so disturbing as an insect I didn't even want to enter it. But there is some sort of complex below the stable floor. This next building, at about the 10 o'clock position, let's go up there. I think you people would call it a kitchen. There was food prep areas, there was a back room, there were stairs up. And you should picture these as I'm describing them as you walk around on this map, that the architecture in this town, all of the first floors are constructed of stone. And they are smaller than the second floors. The second floors loom and hang over. It feels like these buildings are leaning in. They're very, so picture, you just know, as you look at these ground floors, that the aboves, which I did not go to, are much bigger, more space in all of them. You kind of picture that sort of Tudor-style overhang.
Yes.
They did that thing where they were taxed by the footprint on the ground floor. So everybody had this tiny ground floor, and then they just built as much as they could out on the second floor. So that's exactly what's happening here. And then the manor house. Well, I did not like this place, Dabs. I did not like this place at all. There was so much blood. And I know I'm not supposed to tell you about creatures, but there were lots of rats. There were lots of rats. There were 3 rooms. 3 rooms. This manor is it's a U-shaped building. There's a long hall on the west, north to south, and then there's a big room on the north and a big room on the south. Long stone entrance hall filled with so many things, Dabwick. People things. So many people things. Trinkets and knickknacks and books. I had to climb over towers of leaning books. The floor was unusually damp. Very, very wet. Dora is immediately reminded of her dream of walking down a long, wet-floored hallway with towers of books on either side. The bug's description of this is not identical, but you can start to imagine the room that may have given that dream inspiration. There's a room on the north. There's a big room, like a dining room, a big table, and stairs that go up. Dora, as Dabs is describing this, you would assume those are the stairs that go past the suit of armor and into the room where Millicent has been writing all these letters. Like, her desk is directly above that chamber. And there's one room down to the south. Oh, it's a crazy people stuff room. Floor to ceiling, books in piles, books all over the place. Objects and boxes and trinkets and knickknacks and stairs that go up. I saw the stairs that go up. And now I believe, Paul, because you cast this spell for the next hour, you get a floating bonus. How does that work? For the next 6 hours, you have the ability to re-roll 1 failed skill check as long as the check involves something about the location's layout, such as a stealth check to sneak in, disable device, silence alarm, perception check to notice a trap, or something like that. And that basically manifests as Dabs remembers one thing that the beetle mentioned that I didn't say right now, and they get a little re-roll.
Bonus. That's great.
That's what you're looking at. It's a lot of buildings there.
It is.
You've done very well, my friend. Thank you so much.
The duration of my spell has ended. And the beetle clears off the side.
Now his watch is ended.
Yeah, my watch is ended. How fun is that? That's so cool.
That's really fun.
very cool.
Gosh.
Magic is neat.
And I think, okay, let's get into a little bit of this, just a little bit. So the guest house, as the beetle is describing that and Dabs is passing along this information, Dora, you are fairly certain that this is the room in which you saw Gulliver Vaticus with young Ray on his knee. This was their house? maybe.
Guest house.
It's a guest house. And then I think, so yeah, Dora, you would know that the stairs on the north part of the ground floor of the manor would go up into Melison's workroom, basically, the sort of reading room where her desk is and all that kind of stuff. And you would connect that front hallway to some part of those dreams you were having. There's something about this hallway that, and I think I described it in that dream as like being filled with drooling mouths.
These feel like the rooms of a hoarder.
Oh yeah, and the bug would clearly lay out. There are books absolutely everywhere. Everything's a little weirdly wet, and there's blood all over the place.
Did the bug see a hatch to a basement, or only the hole in the floor in the stables?
The bug did not see a hatch to the basement. That does not mean, of course, that one does not exist, but the bug did not see one.
Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't say that the stranger was working on a project in the basement. They said in the crypt.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're down in that hole then, probably. And there is no Stella that's visible on this map.
No.
No, but it would be underground, I think.
Oh my god. You know what? This is a fucking beetle. Yeah, it would know where the hatch to the basement is. For sure. Yeah, it absolutely would have to. Yes. So I crawled underneath one of the rugs in the library room, and there was a sealed door locked up that, like a hatch, that seemed to go downstairs. It was underneath the rug. That's how awesome of a scout I was.
That's pretty cool, Bug. That's from Johnny.
The bug could verify that the well in the center there, that the water emerges within sight of the top of the thing, so you would not expect... This is not like there's a surface well and then an underground thing where the well actually comes out. Like that is
You can
actually...
see the water.
You can see the water from the actual surface there, so that it's down deep, but there is no evidence of any room below that well.
And oozes can traverse water.
100%. And as we deduced through the course of the long grinding of meat, that ooze does have intelligence and seem to be operating in coordination, if not perhaps communication with the scum. Or maybe specifically with Daggerbatha?
Perhaps.
Daggerbatha.
So, where does this lead the particular conversation as we're around 7 o'clock now?
How do we get in?
I mean, I still think that we hide out outside and
Wait for them to come out.
wait for them to come out.
Yeah, I think if we're not going to clear out the fort, which now maybe looks like there's not much to
point.
clear out.
Just a resource drain.
Yeah, I think I'm more for trying to do an ambush rather than trying to storm the gates.
Me too. So we need knowledge of the surrounding area. But so if they can traverse... Well, we don't know what Melison can do.
She's got to be a spellcaster of some kind, right?
I don't know.
The I keep wanting to say pangolin, but that's
Penangalan.
the Penangalan. Midnight is when that transformation. So up until
Yeah.
midnight, just reads as just a woman,
Yes, but the Menanangal would now have already transformed.
right?
Sun
Do
is
we
set.
know that there is one, or just that that's what they create, or did you just give us something away?
Crap! So either if we choose to ambush outside the gatehouse, let's say that we choose that. After midnight, either they come out that way or they go another way, but they're not in Iris Hill.
Do those creatures fly in their?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so they could just pop over the hedge if they
One of
if they
them
wanted.
leaves their legs elsewhere, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that they fly.
Well, yeah,
But
okay,
but
yes.
they'd have to drag back any bodies that they wanted,
Any people.
any people.
They're not looking for bodies, they're looking for living people that they
Yeah.
can sacrifice at the Stella.
So I mean, they've got to
At
have a
this
plan
Stella.
of how they would get bodies back in, and I doubt that it's going to be just grab one person and fly back.
They may not be taking them to this Stella alone, though.
But
There's two
okay, so
others.
wasn't the? I thought, and maybe I misunderstood what's happening at midnight, that they were coming for us specifically at midnight.
Unknown for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know exactly what their plan is, except they think they can get as many bodies as they need at that time.
Okay.
But
We certainly would be.
I have decided what they think that means.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see what you all do. But
If their plan is to feed the Stella, we are certainly probably the choicest targets in town.
we know they did consider the specific nature of the refugees on the ship as being important to the Stone of Alar, which requires essentially vagabonds, chaos and unknown, and anarchists is kind of the feel of Alar, and they might need to sacrifice sort of outsiders or people without homes. Or
We've sent them away, so that's good.
we will be sending them away. I'm thinking like
Will be.
8 o'clock they take off.
Yeah.
That seems like enough time for
That seems reasonable.
yeah.
To make
So,
things-
Roni,
Still
what do you
4 hours
think?
before midnight, but enough
Yeah.
time for people to get to the boat.
What do you
And they-
think about a good ambush spot? I doubt they'll simply walk out the gatehouse, but
Well, we got two choices, right? If they walk out the gatehouse, we can ambush them. If they fly out the gatehouse and take off, we can trap them from the air. Or we could actually go to one of the Stellas where we think they're going to be planning on sacrificing.
or they could
Captives.
travel by well.
Well, if they travel by well, we got
Exactly.
nothing.
What about if we try to scout out and if we can see when they leave, if we can try to get in then and maybe kill the Panangalan, find the
The torso.
the torsos and while they're out and maybe
Just fuck with them.
yeah.
So a two-pronged plan. Either ambush them if they come out where we can ambush them, or once they go out,
We go in.
10
and mess
minutes,
with
5,
them.
10 minutes after, we go in. Which means we got to go scout that hedge.
It's a 3-point plan because we're already foiling the ship if that's one of their targets.
Right.
And the people in town that would be good candidates for sacrifice.
Right.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, so then the next thing I would say is to go back to another map and look and see where would be a good choke point or ambush point, if there is such a thing, coming from Iris Hill down into the main town.
It's a road that winds down the hill right into town. It's the winding road that you first saw Mama Lowell's
Really winding.
glowing. Yeah, very winding.
So there's her too to think about. Her projection.
Well, what about as a place to, in the woods kind of here, to at least have a view of, this is, so the woods
gatehouse.
just to the kind of northish, eastish of the gatehouse of Iris Hill. Looks to be a fairly wooded area.
Yeah, I would describe the environs at the base of the hill as very wooded. I would say that kind of unlike the top of the Fort Hillcourse Hill, which was clearly and deliberately deforested so as to open the space, that's not the case with Iris Hill. That there is tree cover up to, pretty close to the hedges, not close enough that you could climb a tree and drop down into it. But there are patches of trees all along that hill that you could certainly hide in, get a view of the road. There's a lot of twists and turns of that road as it comes down the hill. I think this picture on this map is pretty demonstrative of. You could probably find a couple of spots where you could, get some cover behind some trees and maybe catch a group coming around a corner, that kind of thing. It's fairly open view to the rest of the town just because the hill itself is tall. But I think when you're actually on there in the undergrowth, yeah, you could find ways to get cover from people on the road.
So what if we basically went in and then came over here and made our way around everything, moving through
Outside of town
trees,
entirely.
outside of town entirely,
Into the woods
until
around
we
Iris
came
Hill.
all the way around here, so that we could check out the hedge and check out what we could see.
You're talking about
Where
the
do we-
back side of the compound here.
Correct.
Do all that before we
Pick an
do it
ambush.
now.
pick a spot. But so do that before they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could get that done before the ship leaves still. So in the next hour, take care of
Yep.
that piece, and then we can either give
do
a
that.
thumbs up or not or whatever to the ship. But
Yep.
I think that would take about an hour if you're talking about walking all the way around the outside of town like that. So as the sun has set and you're making your way through the woods around the north side of town. This is a part of the map here you have all never been in. It is very hilly, very forested, very rugged out there. As you pass the north side of the hill that has Fort Hillcourse on it, you cross the one road out of town. Like, this is the road that probably Jared and Danae took to go back out onto the highway to get out of this area. Make your way through the forest near the base of Iris Hill on the north side, the non-town facing side. And yeah, you can see the back of the estate from up there. From that direction, you would see, the 20-foot tall hedge maze, and you would see the upper 2 stories of the manor would be looming over the back of that. The back of the manor is very close to the back of the hedge there, just about 20 feet away. What's your plan there?
Are the houses, are the buildings within the hedge taller than the hedge?
Yes. Well, no. So the manor is, and I would say that you would guess that it's probably likely that the manor has full legit second story and probably a attic. So it's kind of like, think of it more like a 3-story building. It's big, yeah. The other buildings that have a second story, you're probably seeing maybe the top half of the second story above it, because the hedge is tall. It's 20 feet tall.
And when we're around the north side of the hill, what is the grade of the hill? Like, is it the hedge and then is it a sheer drop, or is it a slope all the way around?
You've got a slope, let's say a slope to a steep drop. You've got plenty of maneuvering space away from the base of the wall to walk around. You could have a fight there if you wanted to, and then it gets pretty steep the further away you get from it.
Okay.
So, and again, not like Hillcourse where it's like there's 100 feet clear on all sides, but there's no trees right there.
What time
you
is it?
You do see, as let you get back here, I can put one of these last names on the map here.
Is it this place?
Boom. You find, as you're skulking about on the edges of town on the north side there, crouching underneath the shadow of Iris Hill is another mansion. Old, completely abandoned, lying in an absolute state of neglect. But as you sort of eyeball it over, it seems like at one point this was well-constructed, well-kept, perhaps... Give me a knowledge local check, Johnny, on this. I like this.
I was going to say, is this Countess Lowell's place?
The old Lowell's estate.
21.
This is known locally as the Old Manor. This was Count Pragnus Lowell's the First's residence in Thrushmoor, where he lived while he oversaw the construction of Iris Hill, the mansion atop Iris Hill. When he moved into the new building, this mansion was converted into a stable for all of his horses. So this house, big enough to house many, many families in town, was turned over to his horses. And then basically by the time you get to Hazerton Lowell's the third, so his grandson, the Lowellses lost interest in maintaining such a massive structure just to keep horses in. So basically since the time of our Count Lowell's dad, he was just like, fuck it, let it fall into disrepair, and hasn't been tended to for probably 50 years or so at this point. It is a known place that is, think of it like condemned building, where it's probably dangerous to go in, and this is not a place where the local teens hang out, because it's just a dank, depressing, moldering, crumbling place. Kind of an example of how much money this family has, that they just let one of their mansions just fall into ruin.
Right.
Got it. In terms of looking at the hedgerow, does it look like it's magical? Is it moving? Is it doing stuff?
How close do you want to get?
I will sneak up to it.
Give me a stealth check.
I will tap myself with the wand and do a stealth check.
Roni goes invisible. Zoom.
That is a 47.
Quiet and silent as a mouse. Roni sneaks up the side of the hill towards the hedge. And Johnny, Roni has this experience of this hedge is so unnaturally, supernaturally dense. You can't see anything through it. And as you edge closer and closer and closer, you see that it's filled, all 20 feet height of it, with thorns, because as you get closer and closer, you see branches and vines on the outside of it extend their thorns at your approach, as if somehow aware that you might be approaching it. It does not attack you, but it does seem to... There's something going on with it. Do you have any means of detecting magic?
I guess I will use my identify, because then I'll be able to...
Or you can ask your buddy Dabs. Would you trust them to tell you the truth?
I would not. All right, and below my identify.
All right, give me a spellcraft check.
That's a 33. I'm sorry, a 38.
Wow. So analyzing the auras going on here, Roni is a little overwhelmed. There are essentially every square inch of this hedge is under a permanent plant growth and wall of thorns effect.
Oh.
You basically know the plant growth is going to make moving through it very, very slow, and that the wall of thorns component is going to mean taking damage every round that you do attempt to pass through it. That you can attempt to force your way through with strength checks, but you would not consider them to be easy checks. All that could get through this unharmed would be something as tiny as a beetle, or say a druid that had whatever that, undergrowth passage ability they have that Dabs doesn't have, because Dab has given that kind of stuff up for more city stuff. So breachable for sure, but at the cost of slow moving and some pain.
All right, so where do we think? I think either here or down in this, either just to the east of the gatehouse or down the hill a little bit, but down the winding path and in some of that tree-covered area.
Did you want to scout all the way around while you're invisible?
Yeah.
So I think the thing that might catch Roni's eye is that this gatehouse structure is only about maybe 15 feet tall, so it doesn't go quite to the height of the hedge. And, it is like 15 feet wide. There are double doors set in the middle of it, but on top of it is just a roof. The hedge doesn't go over the roof. One could conceivably just, if one had a way, could just go over that building and get in. Like that is, again, like as the gatehouse provides a break at ground level, there's no hedge above it as well. So if you were in a climbing mood, there's a little pocket to get through there.
Awesome. So then...
That's not suggesting you do it, but you would notice.
Like that seems a way to get through
There
without...
is a break, yeah.
Okay.
So circling around, those are the two main discoveries, sort of the nature of this wall and the fact that and how this gatehouse break works.
So let's send people on the ship off.
Yep, send them off. Mm-hmm. All right, so Skywin.
So I'm to go out and return tomorrow evening. What time do you want me to return?
Dusk.
Yeah, dusk.
Is there a signal we could arrange so that I would know it's safe to actually return and dock?
Would one of my, flare cartridge...
From one of the tall hills?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Great. Well, then we'll say that.
The Sullen Starling unmoors and leaves Thrushmore. With the backup buddies, with all of the NPCs from Book 1, with several important NPCs from Book 2 that we haven't met yet, we know some names, all packed in there, they head out onto Lake and Carthen. And then what's your plan?
I think that we pick a good spot.
Outside the gatehouse.
Outside the gatehouse, not too far away from the gatehouse, and wait for them to come out and get ready.
The party makes their way back up Iris Hill, finds a little copse of trees where they've got a good view of the gatehouse, hunkers in, and waits to see what happens. That is the end of Chapter 63. We'll pick it up next time.
Oh, good luck.
Dark Nexus is a creation of Plug and Hum Productions. This podcast uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, which are used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. This podcast is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo Inc. For more information about Paizo's community use policy, please visit paizo.com/communityuse. And for more information about Paizo and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. That's PAIZO.com. Dark Nexus uses music and soundscapes by Sirenscape. Check them out at sirenscape.com. That's SYRINSCAPE.com. Opening and closing themes, along with additional music, composed by Rob Kauzlaric. Artwork for Dark Nexus is by Matt Wahlquist. Special thanks to Toy, without whose generosity this project would not have been possible. And thanks to DMCP, Richard and Ari, Paul and Shannon, Chris, Scotty, Jason, Jess, Joe, Chelsea, Matt, Dave, Darren, and everyone we've gamed with over the years for all the memories and inspiration.
WTPK.
Oh,
Brilliant. Love it.
Two tag.
That was
Season
good.
2 tag.